On July 16, 2011, in Port St. Lucie, Florida, Blake Hadley, 54, and Mary Jo Hadley, 47, were murdered by Tyler Hadley, their 17-year-old son. 3 years later, he was convicted of the murder and sentenced to life in prison. Hey, welcome to True Crime Travel Map. This is a podcast based off a map I've been putting together that has over 450 real true crime locations, all documented in one place on one map. Go to truecrimetravelmap.com for that, but let's just get into this week's episode. Alright, this week we go over the murders of Blake and Mary Jo Hadley. This week's location takes us to Port St. Lucie, Florida, and it is the Hadley residence, where the murders occurred. Tyler allegedly decided how he wanted to commit the murders a few weeks prior to committing them. He ostensibly told a friend exactly how he was planning to do it at the time, noting that having a big party after a parricide had never been done before. Shortly after noon, Tyler wrote on his Facebook wall, "Party at my crib tonight, maybe." After Tyler's parents returned home that day, he hid their phones and locked their black Labrador in a closet, who he suspected would defend his parents. Shortly before 5 p.m. on the evening of July 16, 2011, Tyler took 3 pills of ecstasy and then stood behind his mother, Mary Jo, as she worked on her computer in the family room. He attacked his mother with the back end of a claw hammer fist. Hearing the screams, his father rushed out of the bedroom to see what was happening. Blake saw Tyler attacking his mother and froze at the sight. Tyler then finally attacked his father with the hammer. After killing them, he dragged their bodies into the master bedroom and spent 3 hours cleaning up the blood and throwing household items that reminded him of them on top of their bodies. Tyler first invited people to his party at 12:15 p.m. on the day of the murders, hours before he murdered his parents. He funded the party with his dead parents' credit cards. He was spotted by an ATM when his photo was taken as he pulled cash out of the accounts. He then picked up some friends. Around 60 people attended the party that night, and several were alleged to have noticed the smell of dead bodies. During the party, Tyler apparently told several people about what he had done. Tyler went on a short walk with a friend, Michael Mandel, and confessed the crime. After returning to the party, Mandel discovered the bodies of Blake and Mary Jo in the master bedroom. Mandel did not leave the party immediately. He continued to spend hours with Tyler and even took a selfie with him. 4 hours later, Mandel left the party and called a local crime hotline to report the murders. News of the crime was then spread by word of mouth. Hadley was arrested early the next morning. Tyler was 17 at the time of the murders. During his teenage years, Tyler began skipping school and taking drugs. His sentencing documents indicate that he had been involved in a myriad of crimes prior to these murders. Tyler had participated in drug use, sales, and purchases, and had been criminally detained for arson, vandalism, thefts, aggravated battery, and now murder. There was also a $15,000 civil suit pending after Tyler had hit and injured a child while driving his father's car in June 2010. Prior to the parricides, he had been enrolled in an outpatient drug program, which proved to be unsuccessful as he continued to use drugs. Knowing he would soon turn 18 and desperate to get him help, his parents had recently found an inpatient treatment program for him. This was later reported to be the motive of the murders, as Tyler did not want to participate in the program. Tyler was a minor, meaning he could not be sentenced to death by Florida law. In 2014, he was sentenced to life imprisonment without parole. While in jail awaiting sentencing, Tyler had spent his time signing autographs for fellow inmates. He would take a news article about the murder and write, "It's Hammer Time," across the article, and sign with his self-proclaimed nickname, Hammer Boy. In April 2016, his sentencing was overturned by an appeal judge who stated the lower court did not consider the correct alternative to a life sentence, Miller vs. Alabama had just been recently handed down by the Supreme Court, which changed how juvenile murderers were to be treated within the judicial system. When sentencing occurred, the judicial review mechanism was not in place, and Tyler was entitled to having judicial review at some point in the future now that the law had evolved. Although the original judge had worked hard to meet the requirements of the new law during the sentencing hearing, the procedure had not yet been codified. So a new sentencing hearing would cure both of those defects to ensure Tyler received the justice due to him. In December 2018, Hadley was resentenced to life in prison, but this time the judicial review mechanism was properly put into place. Hadley is imprisoned in the Okeechobee Correctional Institution in Okeechobee County, Florida. In April 2015, the Hadley house was demolished. Okay, if you guys want to go to the location of the house, I know it was demolished, but you could still go to the plot where it was. The address was 371 Northeast Granger Ave, Port St. Lucie, Florida, 34983. So as you can see on Google Earth, they still have the house up. It says it's demolished. I haven't been there, so I can't say if it was or not, but it probably was. But you can see here where the house was. I can go down the street. You can see what's across the street. They had no houses across the street. They're right before a stop sign. This is the neighbor's house. Let's go over to see where the neighbor's house looks like so you guys can see. This is the corner house. So basically you go down Northeast Grandower Ave, and yeah, you'll see what should be just a plot of land where the Hadley house once stood. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You guys want to subscribe, that's dope. If anything, sharing helps if you want to share. I have shorts coming out on YouTube and stuff. If you want to listen to this, you can hear it on all podcast platforms. If you want to watch it on YouTube. You can see pictures and see the locations. It's a little bit cooler visually, but if you want to just listen. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching again. And yeah, Godspeed, Dark Travelers.